Welcome back to part 2 of this short series to create a configurable table using JavaScript. So in the first part we have created a table using HTML, but in this part we will create a configurable table using JavaScript. Okay. So if you are already familiar with creating a table using HTML, then you can proceed with this video. Else you watch the other video which is like part 1 and come back to this video. Okay. Okay, before starting, let me again show you what is the configurable table. Okay, so currently my rows and columns are 5, which is the default value. When I click on this get table, you see we got these values, right? Make it like any other value like 4. You see we got 4 columns with 5 rows. Okay, so this is like a configurable table. So here is my HTML boilerplate and I will be creating my input fields here. Okay. So here is my basic HTML with the rows and columns inputs and also like a button to create a table. Okay. So now let me access these HTML elements in the JavaScript. Okay. For that I will use query selector methods. Okay. Const row element equal to okay. Now we are accessing these HTML elements in the JavaScript using these three query selectors. Okay. Now let me here on click event on this button. So to do that we can use button element dot add event listener. So we need to here click event and as the callback function I will use create table function. Okay. So let me create a table function here. So to create a table, we need to have two values. One is row count and another one is columns count, right? How we can get those property values is let row count equal to, so we have this row element and in this we can use value because input have value property. Okay. Let column count equal to column element dot value. So now I will pass these two values to the function. Okay. Column count. So once we have rows and columns count, what we have to do is we have to create a table, right? So to create a table, we have table element. Okay. So let me do that. Const table equal to document dot create element of, so we need to create a table element, right? So that's why I am using table. So once we have this table created, we have to add row headings and column headings, right? But we can do this at the end. Firstly we will just generate the data for the body content. Okay. So to do that we can use for loops. Okay, which is we have to use the nested for loops for this. Okay, so let me do that. For let row equal to 1, so I am initializing the row value to 1 and row less than or equal to rows and then row plus plus. Okay, so for the second loop we can take let call is equal to 0, so call less than calls call plus plus. So this nested for loop will create table data, okay, which is content. So how we can do is to create a content we have to use table data element, right, which is td element. So let me create that. Const td equal to document dot create element of td element. Okay, so once we have this td element, we have to append some content to this td element, right? So let me do that. Td dot text content is equal to, here I will use the string literals. Okay, so inside this I will access current row and current column value. Okay, so hyphen sorry row hyphen call. Okay, so okay, once we have this text content, we have to append this content to the row element, right? So we haven't created any row here, so let me do that. Okay, const tr equal to document dot create element of tr. Okay, so once we have this, what we can do is tr dot append child of td element. Okay, so okay, now we are done with creating the body content. Okay, but to show the table on the screen, we have to append this table element to the body element. Okay, or else we have to create a specific container. So let me create a specific container to this. In the html, I will create a div class equal to table container. Okay, so I will just leave this as this, and I will get this table container element from here. Okay, table container equal to document dot query selector of. Okay, once we have this table container, we have to append this table to our table container, right? So to do that, table container dot append child of table, which is what we created initially. Okay, now let me refresh this tab. So when I click on this create table, it has to work. Oh, it's not working. Let's see what went wrong. Okay, okay, it should be one here, but that doesn't make any issue even if it is 0. Okay, see, if you see, we haven't appended our row element to our table, right? So that's why it's showing error. So how we can do that is table dot append child of tr. Okay, now let me refresh again. See, we got everything. Now let's focus on creating a row headings and column headings. Okay, so first let's create row headings. Okay, like here row 1, row 2, row 3, like that. Okay, so that should be simple. So we have this tr element. So to this tr element, we can create a const th equal to, so which is like heading, right? Th means table heading dot create element of th. Okay, once we got this, we have to append some text to this th element. So that's why th dot again text content is equal to, I will again take a string literal that row value. Okay, once we created the data, we have to append this th to the tr element. Tr dot append child of th. Okay, now let me refresh again. You see, we got row 1, row 2, row 3, all these things, right? Now we can create column headings as well. Okay, so to create a column headings, we need to use the for loop again, which we can iterate over columns length. Okay, so for that, let me take a for loop again. For let call is equal to 1, call less than or equal to calls, call plus plus. Okay. So once we have this, we have to again create th element. So let me create a th element. So I'm just copy paste it, and this th element has text content of, which is similar to this one again. So just like instead of call, it's column, and we can give call here. Okay. Once we have this th, okay, we need to append this th element to the row elements, right? So let me create a row element. So again the same thing, I will copy it, paste it, we'll do it. Okay. So once I have this, now let me refresh this Chrome window again. Let me create table. Okay, here we are not able to see our column headings. So let me see the issue. Okay, to make it work, we have to append this tr row to the table, right? Again, so what we did here in line number 27. So let me copy same, we'll paste it. But if you see, we don't have a tr element on the global now, so it's inside the for loop. Okay, so it won't be accessible. So let me create it outside. Okay, now let me try to refresh again. See, we got this one. Potential issue here, this column one should start at second column, but it's starting at for the but it's starting from the first column itself. So what we can do is, we can just create a empty th element for this element. Okay, so how we can do it is, like, we can again do the same thing, const empty th document dot create element of th. Okay, once we have this, okay, I think we have to do it outside of the for loop. So once we have the empty th, we have to append this empty th to the row, right? So let me do that, tr dot append child of empty th. Now let's do that. You see, we got it empty row first. Okay, so here we are done with the creating a table. So now let's change these values. Okay, we'll see it. Wait. You see, we have 4 columns. If I make it like 3 4, it would be 3 rows and 4 columns, right? So it's working. So let's work on adding borders to our table content. So let me go to stylings. First let me take th element, which is headings. Okay, so I will give border property, border 2 pixel width, solid, and some color to it. Okay, so let me add some padding to this as well, so that it would looks good. So padding will be 10 pixel all around four directions. So let me, okay, you see, we got our heading elements with the like correctly aligned to each other. Okay, now let me do the same thing to td element as well, which is this content. Okay, so let me add td here. See, we got everything which is correctly aligned. Okay, now let's remove these gaps between columns and rows. So to remove these gaps between columns and rows, we have to use table, and in table we have border collapse property. Okay, so border collapse which has collapse value. Okay, now let me refresh. Let me create again. See, we got it correctly. Okay. So let me try with a few other scenarios too. Okay, if I give some value, incorrect value, how it will behave. So it's again behaving correctly. Okay, this is pretty much okay. This is pretty much from my end today. And if you have any questions, you can just post your questions in the comment section. I will try to answer them. And thank you for watching.